What's going on, everybody? I wanted to make a video earlier in the week. It is now Friday night, so the week is over. I probably look tired because I had a hell of a week, but I did get my online auction buttoned up. I'm gonna drop the link below to the online auction so you guys can kind of follow along. And I'm gonna show you guys some stuff I sold on eBay over the last few weeks so you guys can kind of see what's selling this year in 2026 and maybe get some ideas for when you're outsourcing. And as I share the sales with you guys, I'll kind of go over where I got the items from, where I sourced them from, and if I can remember how much I paid, so you can kind of get an idea on profits. But the most important thing for you to see is just kind of like the categories I'm sourcing and what's selling on eBay for me. And again, maybe it'll help you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first item is this Briar horse. I picked this up at a flea market for 40 or 50 bucks, and it sold for $119.99. It took a little while to sell. I think I had it about maybe 4 to 6 months, but it was a good sale, good profit. So be on the lookout for these Briar horses. The next item we sold was this Ping Zing sand wedge. So this is a really good club. I actually bought a full set and I had a pitching wedge and a sand wedge. So I sold the set for $3.99 and I sold this extra club for $89.99. So it was a good way to break it up into two listings to kind of maximize my profits on this item. I paid $120 for that set at a yard sale. Next one is this turtle box thing. These are really popular right now. You can see it sold for $3.80. A friend of mine works for a website, so he gets these promotional products. I bought this from him for $200, and it was a quick sale at $3.80. It was only listed for about a week, so that was a really good one. Next one is a snap-on tool. Always be on the lookout for snap-on. Look, the small tool sold for $50. I bought a huge rolling toolbox for $3,500. I probably sold nearly 8,000 out of it, and I still have a lot of tools left. So that was a great investment. So sometimes doing a really big buyout, if you got the capital, is the way to go. The next item is one of my favorite things I came across recently. It was all these 1910s college football photos. They are insane. And you could see some of these individual photos sold for $90, $100, $125 like this one. And they were just so cool. I found them in a box of old photos I had bought for the World War I photos that were in it, which I put in separate lots. But these actually ended up being way more valuable, these old football photos from the 19-teens. I saw some that were dated, and it was around 1917 to 1919, or a little bit earlier maybe, somewhere around there. And they were cool. They had these notes on the back explaining what was happening in that play or on that football field at that moment. So these are one of the favorite things I came across. And you can see I actually got 13 of them for like $40 at an auction. So I ended up probably getting about $1,000 out of that investment. So that was a really great pickup. And look at this. They were wearing leather helmets here. I'm sure you guys have heard the term leatherheads. That's where that came from. Next item here, we got the Tinkerbell Disney cast member statue. It's bronze. So I got a whole collection of these for $700. This one sold for $360. For the 700 bucks, I got like 5 or 6 of these statues. I got the 5-year plaque, the 10-year plaque, the 15-year statue, 20-year, 25, 30, and 35-year statues. All the bigger statues were selling for like 300 plus, like you saw. So I like quadrupled my money there. I bought all these antique instruments. I bought 30 instruments for $1,500, so I only paid $50 each. This one happened to sell for $511. I had some other big hits out of that buyout. Some of the items weren't worth as much. Some of them I did only sell, like the flutes and clarinets. I might have got $50, $70, $80, $100 for some of those smaller instruments. But these big ticket items really like made it worth the buy and hit the home run out of the park. And you can see as I listed it here, I said this instrument's in fair condition and needs cleaning, refurbishing. The case smells musty from long-term storage. So when you're selling stuff like this, you always want to be very transparent in what you have, especially if you're not a musician, you're not knowledgeable. So that's the way to go with those. These NetJets planes, I've been selling for several months now. I actually did a huge buyout where I bought over 400 of these planes at $12 a plane. So I have them on eBay for $89.99, and I still have like 375 left or something insane like that. And they're a pretty good sell, and you can see I sold 65 already, and I think I made this listing in like December or January. So I've sold 65 since then, and I still have like 375 left. left. So I'm making great money on that investment. Here's another high-end electronic. Sometimes I'll buy stuff like this. I think I paid a guy that brings me inventory around $100 for this item, and it sold for $250, free shipping, as you could see. So after shipping and fees, I probably came around $190 to $200. So there's a little risk with these. These are the highest returned items, these electronics, but I do pick them up when they're higher end like that. This is a blower door thing. I think I mentioned in my previous video how I did a huge buyout of AC equipment from this guy that buys storage units locally, and I gave him $9,000 for everything. This set sold for $3,500. I've sold like 5 of these sets already, and I had a company come out and buy $9,000 worth of equipment, which basically paid the whole $9,000 I paid for the load. And on top of that, I probably sold another $12,000 to $15,000 on eBay. So it was just a great investment. So there again, if you ever get the opportunity to build up some capital and do large buyouts, you can network in town at auctions, at flea markets, find people that buy storage units or whatever. It's taken me years to do that, but that's how I work big ticket items like that or big buyouts. Here's the rest of that set. You saw the sand wedge that sold earlier. Here's the rest of the set that sold for $399. I'm really knowledgeable in golf. I've been playing my whole life, so I kind of know how to break down these sets. But it is something to think about as you move forward and maybe you buy sets. The longer irons, the 3 and the 4, can be sold separately sometimes because a lot of people play hybrids for those clubs. I know I'm speaking gibberish if you're not a golfer, but that was a really good sale. I think this is the last item we have for today. This is a buoyancy compensator vest, a dive gear. I bought a big bag of dive gear full of dive computer regulators and all that. I paid $120 at a yard sale. As you can see, I got more than my money back off the buoyancy compensator. I've sold some regulators and stuff for like $60, $80 each. And I still have like the octopus with some regulators and the dive computer on it, which I think I have listed for around the same price as this vest. So I'll probably triple my money on that yard sale find. But yeah, that's everything we got for you guys today. This was a really good list of things I've just sold here in the past few weeks. So you might hear the rain hitting the roof up here. So I got a lot of work today. It is now Tuesday, or wait, what day is it? It's Tuesday morning. We still have the auction running. It does end tomorrow on Wednesday. So you can check that out. I'm going to post the link below. You can kind of see how my online auction company works. So click the link below, check out that auction. Even if the auction's ended, you'll be able to see the end result. So go ahead and check that out, and you can look at the site. That's Florida's Online Auctions. I own that site. You can check it out. It's free to sign up. We offer shipping. There's 13 other estate sale companies on there running sales. You can get a lot of good inventory for your resale company on that site. I was a buyer on there for several years before I was a seller. So you can find some good stuff for your eBay business regardless of where you live. Like I said, a lot of them do offer shipping options. So check that out. And if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. And I'll be making more when I have time. I'm a busy guy, but I like to create some content for you guys. But I got to get my day started here so I can get out there and get this money. But until next time, good luck with your sales. Peace.